Well, obviously, very happy with how the guys found a way in the second half to get it done. And when you're early in the season, there's always lessons that got to be learned. And we got a lot of lessons. And this is going to be a filling out process and a learning process for the guys because we got a lot of guys, individuals that have targets on their back. And when you're at UCLA and you start getting a lot of attention, those targets get even bigger. And I thought, hats off to CSUN. I thought they came in, they had a good game plan, they played very, very hard. It's the first time we've had to really play against intense pressure, and I didn't think we handled it very well for the most part. 20 turnovers is way too high for us. Our assist total got cranked up again in the second half, and we started making shots. We made our shots in the second half. But there are lessons to be learned that you're going to have halves where you don't make shots, and that was in the first half to where our habits defensively have got to continue to grow, and it is going to be, I think, a growing process defensively of just learning what we have to do and to be able to consistently do that over 40 minutes. So a lot of good lessons, but 7 guys in double figures, and I thought we did a great job on the backboard. First time playing 2 games in 3 days, and so there's a lot of lessons, a lot of tape, a lot of things we'll be able to get out of this with the guys.
Like maybe you try to attack the basket a little bit more in the second half?
Yeah, they were really overplaying, and so we talked about maybe less passing and more dribble driving when you play teams that like to extend and press and deny and pressure. That means there's no gaps, there's no help in gap, and not an overly big team. I don't think as far as rim protection. So we felt like that was a big concern going into the second half. Let's really, without our screening and really ball movement, let's move the ball a little bit, and we get an angle to drive it. Let's drive it, and we got some stops. The first 8 minutes of the second half, we got some stops, and we got our transition game going, and that loosened up some of that pressure.
There was so much success in that first game, shooting and otherwise. Maybe a little hangover from that, especially for the young guys.
Well, and we talked about that. We talked about how did you prepare for this game any differently than what you did in the first game? Because did you prepare, hey, we just scored 119 and we're on Sports Center everywhere and this and that. Did you prepare that way? Or did you prepare the same way you did going into the Pacific game? And those are lessons you learn. And not just young players, veterans continue to learn that as well. You look at Bryce and Isaac, 2 of our veterans, they were guarded differently tonight than what they were against Pacific. So you got to be prepared for that, and I think you go into every game. If I'm Isaac and Bryce, I know I'm getting the defense's best guy. I'm going to be first on their page of scouting as far as how we're going to be defended. So you take that as that's very respectful, but when you prepare, it's got to be, hey, I got to be on point of how I'm going to have to cut, how I'm going to have to screen, how I'm going to have to move to get myself open. And I didn't think we did that across the board in the first half. The second half was much better.
Coach, what did you think? Lonzo Ball to start that second half, obviously you guys trailed in those 2 plays he made, the 3-pointer and that dunk, just sort of the mindset from him.
Well, and you're right, the end of that was right. That's the mindset. That's the mindset we got to have. I don't know if he or any of our other guys had that mindset to start the game, and that's kind of the lesson you learn, is that you're not just going to go from one game to the next and score 119 again and win by close to 40. It doesn't work that way. But these are all learning things, and we'll get it. And these are great teaching points for us. But yeah, how he started the second game, he was a heavyweight fighter ready to knock you out. How we started the first half, we wanted to rope-a-dope, and we don't have anybody in our locker room that's Muhammad Ali. They don't understand the rope-a-dope. They're too young. So